Are you in a relationship but don't know if it's healthy or unhealthy?
Well, do I have a video to help you out?
Hello, my name is Alana, and I'm here to tell you guys about the qualities of healthy and unhealthy relationships. I have interviewed 4 teens, 2 of them in a healthy relationship, and 2 of them who just got out of an unhealthy relationship together. And I am here to tell you guys because being in an unhealthy relationship can seriously damage a teen's well being and self confidence, and we need to recognize the signs of an unhealthy relationship. The first teen I interviewed was Alana Gomes. She is part of a healthy relationship. The second teen I interviewed is Chad Hemingway. He is also part of Alana Gomes's healthy relationship at the age of 15. The other 2 teens that I interviewed are Helen Gomes and Jordan McLaughlin. They are part or were part of an unhealthy relationship, and they have volunteered themselves to help inform teenagers these days of what to look out for to help them know if they're in an unhealthy relationship or not. The first question I asked the teens was if there was trust or a lack of trust in their relationships. Yeah, I've got a lot of trust in Alana. I feel like she's very trustworthy, and as long as I'm honest to her, she'll be honest to me. And it's always just been that way and worked out really well, so I do truly trust her a lot. And I believe she trusts me as well. There was a lot of trust in Chad and I's relationship because he would never lie to me about where he was going or what he was doing if I wanted to know, and I wouldn't lie to him, so it was a very mutually trusting relationship. Yeah, I didn't really trust Helen because whenever I would ask her something, she'd be so hesitant to tell me, and just, she lied a lot. And like, I know that people lie sometimes, like a white lie to like make people feel better or something, so it's better than telling the truth. But like, I don't know, I just didn't trust her at all. Like, there's no way that I could trust that girl. Like, every time she would go out, she'd go out with other guys and like not tell me, and I'm like, okay, I found out some other way. Like, why don't you just tell me in the first place? Like, this is honestly stupid. There wasn't really trust in Jordan and I's relationship. I feel like I trusted him for the most part, like besides when he was going to like parties or something, because people would always tell me he was talking to other girls, but like if I was just going out with my friends, he wouldn't believe me and he'd think I was going somewhere else, or like if I told him something, he wouldn't believe me half the time. And I feel like that's part of the reason why our relationship didn't work out. The next question I asked the teens was if their relationship was forgiving. Chad and I would obviously fight like any other couple would do, and we still do sometimes, but like not over big things, right? And whenever I would do something stupid, like if I liked some other guy's picture or something and he didn't like that, like I'd apologize and he'd always forgive me because he knows I didn't mean to like hurt him on purpose. And I don't know, he's a very forgiving person, and it makes me feel better when I know that he accepts me for my flaws and will forgive me when I do something wrong. Sometimes, like, me or Alana will do something that we know we shouldn't have done, but everyone makes mistakes because we're all human, and I always forgive her for that because, like, I know that she regrets it, like, deep down inside, and, like, I want her to be able to forgive me because without forgiveness in the relationship with all these little fights, then there's no way it would last. Whenever Jordan and I would fight, like he'd never forgive me. He would not let it go. He held grudges and would go off telling everyone like why what I did wrong and like why he's not forgiving me instead of talking it out with me and like realizing that I'm sorry. And like, it was so bad. He would honestly get so angry and then just not let it go. He wouldn't talk to me for weeks. Oh, yeah. Helen, like, forgave me all the time, but, like, it was still hard for me to forgive her because some things she would do would just be so annoying and she'd do them over and over again. And I'm like, hey, I'm not going to forgive you for something. And if I know, like, you're not sorry and you're just going to do it again. Like, yeah, she forgave me when I would, like, do something really bad. Like, one time I cheated on her by accident. Like, it wasn't my fault, and it was so like her fault, and she like forgave me, but like if she ever did that to me, I would not forgive her because I know that she wasn't sorry like I was. The next question I asked the teens was if their partner ever gave them any space that they needed during their relationship. Me and Chad, like, we don't always have to be together, and I honestly like that. Like, we can spend a week apart and still want to see each other, like the week after, and still like each other. And we don't have to see each other every day, which I really enjoy because sometimes you just need that space. You need that time to go hang out with your girls or like with your family, and they don't always have to be attached to you at the hip. Alana definitely gives me the space I need in our relationship. Like, it's actually sick. Like, if I want to go out with my boys, she'll let me. And that is honestly one thing that I always look for in a girl. And I found that. And space is like one thing that I can't go in a relationship without. If she always is texting me and wants to be with me and wants to see me, like, I get that we want to see each other because, like, obviously, but we don't have to be with each other all the time, which is awesome. The thing with Jordan is that it almost felt like he never wanted to see me because I'd always be like, "Hey babe, want to hang out?" Like, and he wouldn't, but like sometimes he'd be so mad if I went and hung out with other people. It was crazy. It was like we both didn't give each other space because sometimes I know I was being annoying, but like I just wanted to see him so bad, you know? And he wouldn't do that, but then like he'd be like, "I want to go out with my friends," and he'd be like, "Well, you can't. You have to come see me." And I'd be like, "Are you kidding?" But it was just crazy. It's like we both didn't give each other space. It was terrible. Helen always wanted to be with me, and I honestly loved that. Because, like, she can't go with her friends without me. I don't know what she'd be doing. I don't know what guy she'd be talking to. And, like, that does not work for me. Sorry, but it just doesn't. And, like, sometimes when she asked, I'd play, like, hard to get and be like, yeah, I can't hang out right now. I'm busy. But honestly, if we weren't together every day, I think I'd go crazy. Because I just wouldn't know where she was. And that's not what I want. The next question I asked the teens had to do with the arguments they had. It was a very broad open answer question, but I basically just asked like what were your arguments mostly about? Were they serious? Were they just like little tiny arguments? Did they lead into other things? Chad and I, like any other relationship, obviously argue. Like you have to have some sort of like a fight for it to be healthy because no one's perfect and no one will get along with you 24/7. But our arguments weren't really that big. Like, he would never get super, super mad at me to the point where I was, like, scared of him or anything. But, like, they'd always just be stupid things. Like, he'd lose his car keys, and I'd be like, oh, you look like a boy. And then we get into, like, an argument like that. But basically, we just had, like, healthy bickering, is what I'm trying to say. Alana and I would argue, but that is what happens when you have a relationship with someone. You guys gotta disagree sometimes and get in fights because you won't believe in all the same things, and it was healthy. Chad and I would be arguing 24/7, and it would get to the point where he'd be yelling at me, and like I was scared. Like I was scared for myself, and I didn't know what to do because I felt like if I told someone, then he would just like be so mad at me, and he got so scary when he was mad. And like I don't feel like that was a good part of our relationship because you shouldn't be scared of your partner. Helen and I would fight all the time, and it was honestly always her fault. Like for example, she wouldn't feed the dog, and I'd be like, "You didn't feed my dog," and then I get so heated because that girl, man. Oh, I can't even think about it. I'm sorry, I can't. One of the more in-depth questions that I asked the teens was just basically if they had any signs of a bad relationship in their relationship or why they thought that they had a very healthy relationship. I think that Chad and I had and still have a very good relationship, good healthy relationship because like I know this is personal, but it's not always sexually focused. Like he's not all into that. He just wants to be like with me, and he doesn't try to change me. Like my last boyfriends that I've had have always like tried to change the little things about me that they don't like, and I'm like, well, that's my personality, and you got to deal with it. Like there's nothing I can do about that. It's me. I can't just change myself. And one other thing that I noticed is that he always lets me go out with my friends or family if I want to, and he didn't distance me from that. Elena and I are in a very healthy relationship. I know this because we trust each other, we forgive each other, we give each other space. Our arguments aren't that like drastic. We're not so focused on all the sexual stuff. Like, we don't care about that. She's actually abstinent. So I'm like, all right, like, I respect that. And I can respect your beliefs. And we have healthy competition. I think that's a big part of relationships that you need. And she lets me be with my friends and my family and doesn't distance me from anything. And yeah. Jordan and I's relationship was so unhealthy. We had no trust for each other. He had passive aggressive behavior sometimes, where it would just be to the point where I had to leave the house. Like, I couldn't stand him. He always had to know where I was. He actually got into some substance abuse, I'm not gonna lie. He started doing drugs, and I think that's part of the reason why it didn't work out with us. Um, he was so jealous of all the guys that I talked to, even if we were just friends, and made me feel insecure about myself. Like, telling me, oh, why are you talking to other guys? No one will love you. You're ugly. Like, there's no way that they'll want to be with you. I'm the only one that'll want you. And things like that. He always blamed everything on me, saying it's your fault, blah, blah, blah. He was very controlling in what I could do, who I could go out with. I couldn't talk to my friends. I couldn't go to family events. It was crazy. Um, and like, he didn't let me go out like with my family and friends. That was a big part of why I had to end things. And he tried to change me. And I have like a lot of quirks, obviously. Like, everyone has them that build up their personality, and he would just try to change me and be like, "Oh, why are you being like that?" Like, I'm like, "What?" Helen and I's relationship didn't work out for so many reasons. For one, she didn't trust me when she should have. Two, she didn't forgive me when it wasn't my fault and we argued. She like never cared about where I was or what I was doing. Theo, get down. And like, oh, it was so crazy. She was so sexually focused. Like, it wasn't even me. I swear to God, man. Like, it wasn't. Like, I swear. And like, it was always her fault whenever we would fight. It was crazy. And like, she would always want to go out with her friends and her family and never be with me, and it was just crazy. And like, she would never even like feed our dog that is being very annoying right now. And like, I don't know, it was just crazy. And oh, she was so annoying. Do you see why Alana and Chad's relationship worked out so much better than Helen and Jordan's? It's because they gave each other the things that they need in a relationship, like trust and forgiveness and all those type of things. If you have any signs of an unhealthy relationship, for example, what Jordan and Helen would be doing to each other, go tell someone and get out of that relationship, or talk and communicate with them and tell them what is going on and what you're thinking, and maybe they can change. I hope from watching these interviews you can now see the signs of an unhealthy relationship or what a healthy relationship should include, and can figure out if you have a relationship more like Alana and Chad's or like Helen and Jordan's. Thanks for watching, and please take it upon yourself to take something out of this video to improve your lives at home.